Alright, hello and welcome everyone, this is Gump, and I just wanted to drop this sheet off with you. I went back into the game, started playing, and I realized one of the things that I hate is going through all of our gear over and over and over and over and over, and not knowing what's good and what's bad, and trying to figure it all out, and having different firearms on different dudes and this and that. So what I did was created the spreadsheet that did all that math for us, and all we got to do is put in our firearms, and it's going to show us whether our weapon damage that's on our gun is in the top 20%, top 10%, top 5%, or top 1%. And if it is, that's the decisions that I'm using. Those numbers are the numbers I'm using to make a decision of whether I'm keeping a gun or not keeping a gun or locking the gun if it's really high. So anything over top 5%, for instance, right now I'm keeping. So all you do is, no matter what your firearms are, you put that number in here. So if you have 4,000 firearms on your character, you put that in, and then you find your gun that you have, depending on what it is. And this thing will tell you the bottom number of the top 20%, the bottom number of the top 10%, the bottom number of the top 5%, bottom number of the top 1%. So, for example, I put notes up here to help you kind of understand what's going on if you get a little bit confused. If your number is equal or greater than the number listed in this box, your gun falls in the top 1% of possible weapon damage, meaning 99% of the guns in the game like it are essentially worse on average. So, if we had a gun that was 15,589 on a P416 or higher, then that means that our gun falls within the top 1%. That number is going to fall, if it's in the top 1%, is going to fall between this number and your God rolled number, which is 15604, which is the highest that you could possibly have, given that you have 4,000 firearms. When you change this, the base weapon damage number is essentially what it's finding, and then adding to it the firearm number, how the firearms are affecting it. And so you can come up here and see that these are if you want to put in 6,000 firearms, that's the number that supposedly exists before the cap. I haven't actually tested that myself, by the way. But either way, you put that number in, and you can see the God roll number for 6,000 firearms and any number of firearms or whatever for each specific gun as you go down through here. One thing to note is make 100% sure that you have no extra bonuses on. So, for example, if you're looking at assault rifles and you have gloves on that add assault rifle damage, that's going to make it look like that your gun's better than what it is, because you're just adding bonuses to the base weapon damage. And what we're really trying to find out is how good our gun is for that base weapon damage when it dropped. So make sure, what I did was I put a sniper rifle gloves on that added sniper rifle damage, and I did all of my other guns, and then I switched back to my AR, updated my firearms if that changed, and then went and did the sniper rifles and deleted those if they didn't fall within the top 20%. Some of you may want to change this to 30 or something, but if you're doing that, if you're not at the point where you're keeping top 20% or more, you probably should just be going by whatever the in-game stat is and keeping the highest damage guns you got, because you're probably still leveling up and trying to get gear. Another thing that I added to this, because it's really annoying to me, is going through my gear pieces and trying to figure out which ones I want to keep. So in the next patch, obviously in 1.6, we won't have armor additional rolled, so I didn't put that as any kind of calculations. So these are just flat numbers. You don't add any values in here. This will allow you to say, okay, well, you can go to your mask, look at your mask, and if your mask is 1,000 or higher, 994 or higher, or 987 or higher, or 957 or higher, I give a little bit more leeway going down to 30% here instead of 10. Then it falls within the top 30%. You may want to keep it. Top 10%, you may want to keep it. Top 5%, you may want to keep it. Top 1%, you may want to keep it, obviously. And the top 1% is only a difference between 1,001 God rolled. This is the highest base number that you can get on your mask, and this base number is going to be extremely important next patch, so you may want to be keeping track of that now, because some of your armor may look great because it's God rolled with armor. Now that'll equate over to God rolled health essentially if they transferred over evenly. But what you end up doing is just being able to come in here and see this. And so, in other words, this is a way to save hundreds of hours of just looking through gear and comparing it and trying to figure it out, and being able to have this up whenever you're deleting gear or going through your gear trying to figure out what's good or not. And since I put this down here, all you do is subtract, and I just went ahead and give you boxes to do it so the math can be done while you got one sheet up, so you don't have to be pulling a calculator up and down. If you do have additional armor rolled on a piece right now, you can just put the total armor in, and then put the stat that's rolled for the additional here, and then it'll show you your base, which you compare to these numbers up here. So this is a God rolled chest piece with a God rolled stat. And as we can see, once we take off the additional armor, we have the 2003 value, which is the highest we can get on a piece of body armor. And these numbers aren't changing for 1.6 outside of the additional armor being taken off. So this sheet's going to be being able to be used. We'll see if any damage numbers change with guns and things. We'll update it at that point. But either way, this should save you a lot of time in game and be a really useful tool. I made it for myself because I'm tired of that problem. So I'll talk to you guys later. This is the sheet that I showed you in the previous video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's Gump. I'll talk to you in the next video.